Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer. If you're looking to tow a variety of different trailers with different ride heights on your 2024 Nissan Frontier, then the etrailer adjustable ball mount could be a good option for you. Let's check it out. Now this is going to give you a ton of options between the two different ball sizes of 2 inches and 2 5/16, and allowing for up to a 6-inch drop or a 6-inch rise if we were to invert it and flip it completely around in the hitch. Everything's controlled, at least height-wise, by these 2 pins and clips on the side. Just pull each of those, dial this into whatever height setting you want, or flip it around entirely to the 2 5/16 inch ball, repin it, clip it on the other side, and you're ready to hook up. So if you're running with a variety of different trailers where each one's gonna ride a little bit different, or even change between different coupler sizes, and you don't wanna have to constantly switch out your ball mount, this is the way to do it. Just adjust to the proper height and ball size, and you can hook up and be on your way. Weight capacity will change depending on the ball you're using though. The 2 5/16 up top will have a gross trailer weight rating of 10,000 pounds. That's how much weight it can pull, and it's gonna have a maximum tongue weight of 1,000 pounds. That's the maximum downward pressure on the end of the ball mount there. For the 2-inch ball, it will drop down to a 7,500 pound gross trailer weight rating and a 750 pound max tongue weight. Of course, those are just the ratings for the ball mount. Keep in mind that your hitch and your Frontier might not be rated the exact same, so always be sure to check those with your owner's manual and go by the lowest rated component in your whole towing system. Taking a closer look at the overall fit and finish though, one of the unique things about this is the fact that you're gonna have this black nickel plating on the ball, the pins, and the clips. That's gonna be really durable that we found in our testing. It's got this matte finish over top of it. That's just a clear coat. If that does get scratched away over time, the more glossy finish underneath, that's the actual black nickel plating. Of course, protecting that finish, the best thing you can do is greasing your ball and the inside of your coupler, and just doing that periodically to keep from direct metal on metal contact. But again, in our testing, even without the use of ball grease, it holds up pretty well. Now the main platform here will be black powder coated, a bit more standard, but you're also not going to have as much metal on metal contact here. Underneath that powder coat though, the metal is E-coated, so it's not just going to be bare steel underneath it. You will have some protection against rust and corrosion should that powder coat flake away. The pin and clip is included, so it's nice that you don't have to pick up that piece separately. It just all comes ready to go in the kit. And if I take this out of the hitch, we can see it's going to be a hollow shank on the inside. Now that pin that it comes with is just a standard one, so if you wanted to upgrade to a locking pin, I'd strongly recommend looking into one that also functions as an anti-rattle device, something that has a block that slides into the shank, threads through the side, and locks on the outer edge. That way if we leave this in the hitch, we have some security with it. And again, like I mentioned before, if we flip this around completely in our hitch and repin it, we can use this in the rise position, which for your Frontier might be something you're looking to do depending on the trailer you have. Normally, this would be the way you would use the rise, but with our Frontier, you probably saw me struggling to get the pin in through the hitch pin hole. It doesn't work. You see our hitch pin hole isn't aligned, but the reinforcement gusset on the back of our ball mount here is hitting our bumper. You might not be able to use this, at least in the rise position. I will say that this is an aftermarket hitch that we installed today, and if you've got a factory hitch, you might find that the length is a little bit different, but honestly, most hitches are going to be about the same. We're off by a good margin here, and I'd wager to guess that you're going to have this issue with any hitch, whether it's factory installed or aftermarket. So if you absolutely need the rise position, you might consider checking out a different ball mount that has a longer shank, at least if you're looking for adjustable ones, or maybe just find whatever height you need for that rise position on whatever trailer you have, and just get a simple fixed ball mount that has the appropriate rise that you need, and you'll probably find that you don't have as many of these reinforcement gussets there, and it works better. The one clearance issue aside, let's get a few measurements to see how it sits in this drop position. The first being from the bumper to the center of our ball, where the trailer's actually going to be hooking up. We're sitting at about 5 1/4 inches there, so it doesn't stick out too far from the back of our Frontier. Again, you might consider a ball mount that has a slightly longer shank because that does sit quite close, and when considering the type of turning clearances we'll have and how close our trailer will sit relative to our vehicle, that might not be enough for some people, and you might just have to watch out for how tight of a turn you're making depending on your trailer. And then we also have this in the lowest possible position right now with the 2 5/16 inch ball facing down. In that position, you're only gonna get about 6 inches of ground clearance. Now, you might not ever find yourself using the ball mount in that lowest position, and if so, you should be okay. But if you do find yourself using it all the way dropped down like that, I would be mindful of your ground clearance and just make sure that your trailer isn't too heavy, because the heavier it is, the more it's gonna squish the suspension on your vehicle, and the more you might find that this bottom ball bottoms out whenever we're hitting bumps. Overall, I think the eTrailer ball mount is a pretty fine option if you're looking for adjustment and good features on a budget. The one thing for me that's a bit of a deal breaker on the Frontier is the fact that we can't utilize the rise position, especially with the Frontier being a mid-sized truck. You know, you're more likely to need that rise position, at least to some degree, maybe not that full 6 inches, but at least some on some trailers. So if that's you, if you have need for that rise position, I'd recommend looking at the Bulletproof Hitches adjustable ball mount. They make tons of different versions of it, but the one that most similarly matches this gives you a little bit better weight capacity, pretty much the same rise and drop, and the same options for the ball sizes. Will have 2 hitch pin holes to choose from to give you additional clearance. When using that outer pinhole, it's going to give you more than enough room to flip the ball mount upside down and clear that bumper and not have the same issue we're having here with our eTrailer ball mount. But if you're only intending to use this in the drop position and you've just got a couple different adjustments you need to switch between in that drop position, I think the eTrailer still is a pretty solid option, and it is going to be one of the more budget-friendly picks. So if you're trying to keep things pretty simple, then I think this could certainly get the job done, and otherwise is a good fit for the 2024 Nissan Frontier. Again, my name is Aiden here with eTrailer, and thanks for watching.